On today's episode of the iBuyer experiment, we're going to talk about Zoom. We're going to talk about the aftermath of Zillow. Is iBuying still a thing? And what about all of these financial instruments? Can you make sense of them? Well, we're going to help.
Hey y'all! So another week. What's going on?
Yeah,
Hey.
excited
I have
to be
like
back.
the Little Caesars version of this podcast today, hot and fresh.
Hot and
Okay.
fresh, yeah.
Hot and fresh.
Hot and ready.
No, that's
Hot
on
and
air.
ready.
We
On
have
air.
the new sign here, on air. It doesn't say hot and fresh. It says on air.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the sign.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
cool.
Good
job,
we're
Chris.
adding. Good job, all you guys. Like this whole little like flair and pizzazz we got going on. We got like a real studio here. It's like feeling like official. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right. You got Noah over there switching the cameras, and it's very official.
I know. I remember when we were just talking about previously that we
I'm
had
gonna take a picture of them too for Curtis to insert, so our viewers can
see the back scene.
Yeah.
Here's our view.
Remember when we were like, we just got to get our mics, got to get these sure mics to get started.
That's right.
And here we are. Now we got all this additional equipment that I was just mentioning.
Well, something quick that I just want to share is on Monday, November 22nd, I'm bringing onto my coaching call Matthew Weber from Dunwoody, Georgia. He has a
He's
podcast.
awesome.
It's called What's Up Dunwoody,
Yep.
and he's done almost 200 podcasts. And so he's
That's
going to really
awesome.
like
Dang,
dissect
Matthew.
it down. I know it's pretty impressive, and kind of give us an overview how to, and maybe some best practices. And then what I'm really looking forward to hearing is like, how does he stay motivated to do these? Because it's a challenge. I think
Yeah.
it's been a challenge
Doesn't he
for
podcast
us.
like every day?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like at night at his home. Because I mean, I know when we've talked to him before, he like kind of went over his backlot or his back lighting, his backdrop, etc. It was a pretty cool little setup he has. I watch his podcast because he does it like on stories all the time. Because
It's so smart. I
It
mean,
is
think
smart.
about it. Think about it. You're networking, really.
totally.
You're interviewing a bunch of people, and guess what happens? As an agent, you interview a bunch of agents around the country, and what are you getting? You're getting referrals from people.
Yep.
It's high level networking, and then you're able to push out a massive amount of content.
Well, and I'll pay
quickly.
tribute because that dude is entertaining, right? Like, and anytime you do 200 reps of something, you get better at it, right? And so he's good. He's entertaining.
Well, you're getting more entertaining too, Elliot.
Well, I think that's entertaining looking.
Hey, so what do you guys think about the metaverse?
Metaverse.
Yeah,
You
metaverse. You
You
know,
went straight for it, Jason.
Well,
you
I-
didn't waste
I'm-
any time.
Yeah.
When I first heard of that,
Like, is that like a new version of the multiverse?
no, it's metaverse. You know, it's going to be the world, basically the Facebook world. It's like it's like EXP.
yes. Sorry. As soon as you said that, it took me a second.
The first thing I thought of was EXP.
Well, interesting though, because Microsoft came out with their metaverse as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the
Do they call it
digital,
metaverse?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Noah and I had a back and forth about this, and Noah had to consult Google to find out that I was right.
Oh.
It does
Oh,
not.
she calling you out on air, bruh.
No, because it doesn't happen very often, right? So we got to cherish those times when I know something Noah doesn't know. It's fantastic.
Who's old now? Just kidding.
How you
No,
like
but-
me now,
No, but
Noah?
true. This metaverse, I think it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
do
the
too.
idea.
It's it'll be interesting to see how things progress.
Well, I mean,
Being a part of I'm in this universe today.
I mean, EXP has a universe, right? Now,
Yeah.
Now,
Right. They're
Well, I mean,
EXP
will
World.
EXP World still be like the world that they want to be in, or are they going to want to be into the Facebook world?
They made a
don't
movie
know.
about it a couple of years ago, right? Ready Player One. You're all logged in, you're all jacked in. The Matrix is coming real, y'all.
I did not see it.
I haven't
But-
heard that either.
Ready Player One, you guys didn't see that? It's literally like you log in and you're like you are an avatar, and it's
It's a best-selling novel.
and
Oh.
it has
I did not see it.
see
So I think with EXP, it's interesting because how much of that world is wrapped up into their valuation.
oh.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
what they call themselves, a technology company.
It's
right?
it's a software that they license, right? It's like I know there's several, like I think Stanford uses it. There's a couple of other things that they did, and I don't know if they came in and bought it, but it's
yeah.
not
They
like,
bought Verbella.
There we go,
Verbella
Verbella.
is the company that did that created it.
Yep.
And then I think they were one of the first users to create their world, and then they said, hey,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We're going to buy it. And they bought it, which pretty much.
Well, and we've had, I mean,
valuation.
even though we're not EXP agents, we've been in there and, you know, had guest events and whatnot that we've attended, spoken,
really cool.
et cetera. It
Super
is
cool.
cool. I love how it literally is a virtual experience. So you walk around, you can walk into this meeting, walk into that meeting, and it's really cool how it's just like real life. You can walk into a place and present to whoever's there is listening, and you walk right out and walk into another room.
But
It's great. It's how like Kayla will test.
But there's nothing like being in person, though.
Oh, of course not.
Right?
I think we've realized
yeah,
that.
we realized that.
Right, from a connectivity perspective. But you know, if you're not gonna be in person, it's a good second best.
Well, I joke around now, right? Like, cause like sometimes when, especially like on days where we have 4 or 5 different Zooms, I'll be like, yeah, I got to go to Colorado, got to go to Florida, got to go back to California, got to go to Arizona, right? All in one day, while we're standing right here in this room.
And I always ask everybody on a Zoom, I'm like, so where are we calling, or where are you calling from? Where are you Zooming from today? It's always interesting.
But I'm thankful for it, because once upon a time that would have been like, think about it, the venture that we were on. If we were in this exact same place, honestly, pre-COVID, we would be spending a lot more time on airplanes.
It'd be hard. It'd be a lot harder.
We'd be spending a lot more time on airplanes.
We have, it's very, we're lucky that,
Yes.
I mean, I'd hate to say we're lucky because of COVID, but everyone Zooms now. So it's very easy to go, hey, can you get on Zoom? Yeah, let's do that. And it's like, and people, they understand it now. Whereas before COVID, and people were like, what? How do you do that? I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to do that. Let's just get on a phone call, right? Yep. But I think there's just so much that you can, it changes the dynamics, looking somebody in the eyes and seeing their face. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had that, one of the Zoom today, you know, he said, yeah, they didn't have their cameras on. They're like,
yeah,
I could see your faces.
Yeah, he's like, I got the advantage of seeing your faces and your emotions.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because when I go on a Zoom and nobody else has their camera on and I do, it's awkward.
It is.
So I just look right at the camera lens and just, you know, it's interesting though. And then I'm like, would you walk into a meeting with a brown paper bag over your head?
I love it. Or just like when we have to do our darn webinars and we're presenting to a room of how many ever other people, right? There's been a couple of times where you have a couple hundred people on a webinar and it's just you talking to you, and you know there's all these eyeballs listening and watching to you.
That's different. Like when you're on a meeting and you're interacting.
Oh, and
verbally.
I want to feel the vibe of the crew, like the people, like, you know.
But it is different when there's like 4 or 5 people, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 2 of them don't have their cameras on.
Yes. Oh, for sure, it's different.
Or when you'll Zoom with people from an organization and they're all like either in like the backgrounds or like all like
yeah, not paying attention.
Their TV,
interesting.
their TV, their
or they're
bookshelf.
virtual. They're all like this crazy virtual background. It's like,
oh yeah.
What do you think about the virtual backgrounds? Okay, so questions to consider is it weird when you're on a Zoom with just a few people and you're the only one with your camera on and they don't have their cameras on? So that's my first question. And then my second question is like, is it weird when they don't want to like show their background and it's always virtual?
Yep.
Probably because they're at home.
Yeah, they are.
That's some of my most favorite memes, right? Is that before all these virtual crazy backgrounds came out, they obviously solved that problem pretty fast. But remember, like those ones that you saw, those commercials where the dude's like at the football game and he's, you know, like cheering on, but yet like his background looks like he's like sitting in his home office and whatnot. There was all kinds of cool memes that went around about those. Goodness, can't talk today.
Yeah, but thank goodness for Zoom. It's definitely essential to what we're doing.
I couldn't help but think, Jay, when you brought this up and you said, "Hey, this is like, you know, wasn't customary, now it's customary," and with so many rumblings, right, like from Zillow last week making their abrupt stop that they're going to stop acquiring houses, right? That their iBuying, portal that they are ending essentially. How much do we think that, again, some of this is going to be like because of this has happened, whether it be a power buy strategy or bridge buy strategy, right? There's so many of these done for you solutions is a term that I've liked. Kayla always makes fun of me because I
love that.
Done
for you solution.
Because I've come up with. How many of these things do we think are going to, be the new norm, right? I mean, it's still not a massive percentile, right? You're talking less than 1% of the entire market share, but
we'll see. I don't know. Right? I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a growth. I mean, it's definitely growing still, I think. The numbers say that, but we'll see if the market goes down a little bit, if the market's a little bit softer, what the number is going to look like then. I mean, some people say the numbers in iBuying is going to be a lot more when the market's softer because, these people are going to be more desperate to get out of their house.
I, for one, I do believe that.
They have a move. They find a house that's their dream house, and they can't wait for 30, 60, 90 days. And the person that's selling the home isn't willing to do a contingency. But,
How many people do you know that are truly patient people? In today's modern society?
0.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly my point. Myself included.
When you want something.
Oh, it's hard, man. It is hard.
Difficult to be patient, yeah.
Especially like if you're ambitious, right? It's like, make it happen.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of friction with buying and selling homes.
Sure is.
So I think that's the problem it solves. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see still strong iBuying, and I don't think that our markets are going to crash all of a sudden either.
I think we have a stronger power buying though now.
Well, that's what everybody's saying.
Yep.
I mean, that's.
I think it's gonna flip a little bit.
The trend for that, right? Yeah.
Because that's what I would do.
Well, they were slower to it, right?
If I was going to sell my house and I needed to be out tomorrow, I would probably want to do some sort of power buying to where I got a portion of my equity up front, and then I moved out. Was able to clean up the property. Get all my daughter dump some nail polish on the wall and stuff like that. So you gotta repaint some stuff, get it all nice and nice.
Yeah, and let's
get the rest of your equity at the end, and put it on the market and get it sold.
Let's take a second on that and actually be very clear on that for everybody that's listening, right? Because I mean, there's people's understanding of what is power buying, bridge buying, iBuying, fintech, prop tech, right? All of these different strategies, I think, are terms that are thrown around.
It's a structured sale.
Yes.
That's what it is.
It's a financial instrument.
It's a financial instrument. Exactly.
It really is. It's like the mortgage. It's a financial instrument.
And walk us through, because there are several different strategies, right? Like the way that Knock can do it, or or versus like a bridge product, right? Like with an easy knock, right? How is the simple processes done different? So like, again, most of our agent professionals out there are clear on what we're shining the light on.
They're all pretty similar. I mean,
they are similar.
They're just different ways of doing it. I don't know. You want to walk me through it? I
don't know if we need to get in the weeds.
I don't know. I'm not asking to do a tutorial, right? But I'll do it. Right, what I was saying. So simply, it's an opportunity for somebody to, like Jay said, unlock their equity so you can go and identify your new house, move into that new house. Then, depending on the circumstances of who you're working with, they will give you an additional portion to improve that particular property. Then sell that property at the height of the market, making sure that you're getting top dollar. The benefits of it are you're not paying as much in service fees most of the time, and you're making sure that you're getting maximum value for your existing home by putting it on the open market.
You're not having to show your home.
Yeah, right. It eliminates the pain points.
Move out
gives you the
right
certainty.
Away. So there's no showing your home.
And convenience, right?
Yep. I guess what I would say with agents, find something to where you can brand it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these companies out here that are trying to go, hey, agent, bring me your deals. We can do this for you. We can give you the marketing tools and stuff like this. But what's on all their marketing?
Their name.
Their brand.
Their brand, their company, not the agent. And what I know what these companies are doing. As soon as they get bigger, they're going to go. I mean, they're
stealing mind share.
They're already going to direct to consumer.
Yep, they're stealing mind share.
So that's why our Zoodealio platform, we try to keep it very branded to the agent, where it's not.
This is interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, because branding it to yourself is important, and I think that gets lost on people because we're not very patient. Maybe we don't see the long-term play that's happening here.
Yep.
But we really should be working with products that we can brand to ourselves. We need to be the professional. We need to be out there with these value propositions, not relying on a Knock or a Homeward to give you marketing materials. You got to up your game.
Absolutely. Well, why do you think listing, right? Like List to Live, it's in every real estate book out there that's a real estate professional based book, talks about List to Live, because that's your inventory, that's your storefront. It's your ability to associate yourself with that inventory, that marketplace, so you can attract that particular lead. This is no different, right? When you have a specific product or offering, that is yours. It's your storefront. It's your program. It's your offering.
And brand it to yourself. I mean, look at Greg Haig here in the Valley.
King.
Has 72 sold.
King.
Guess what? All of the financial instruments he uses, they're all from other companies.
He doesn't do one of them.
But does he brand it to that company? No, he brands it to 72 sold. That's his. It's make your own. Make your 48 sold or whatever. 96 hours is sold. Or
it's funny. He says to do that.
He does.
He doesn't even care because he knows the truth. The truth is there are not many people that are going to step up and spend over $1 million a month and market themselves. That's the truth.
Oh, I mean, yeah, exactly. I think these financial instruments are going to be, they're going to be available to anyone and everyone.
They're only going to get better too.
If you get accustomed to using a brand and using their brand, then I think you're going to lose some market share over time. Maybe not tomorrow, but over time.
But is it that the frog in the water?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's the same Zillow. These companies are Zillowing agents, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
They're going, come use our financial instrument, use my financial instrument to get to your consumer and get more listings, right? Eventually, those people are going to go, hey, remember we used Elliot for that knock thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I got on knock.com and I put my address in there. And guess what? They just moved Elliot right out of that equation.
Right. Now that they have your homeowner's name, information, all of that around them. You got to remember that all of these companies are data companies first.
Yep. And they're going to be direct to consumer. If they're not already direct to consumer, they're going to be in the future because that's
it just makes sense.
As they get to the point to where, hey, how can we become more profitable and return more money to our investors? They're going to go, well, we cut out the agent.
Yeah, it's commission is what? Almost $100 billion a year, right?
90 billion.
Almost 100 billion. Yeah.
Almost 100 billion. Yeah.
So before we wrap up today, let's do our deal deep dive.
Deep dive.
So we have a really cool one going on right now. It's kind of an in-house product, right, where a homeowner gets a full market cash offer.
Is it branded to anyone?
Well,
there's no brand on it. It's the agents.
It's the trade-in, right?
Yeah, the agent, right? It's them being able to say, hey, I have this exclusive cash offer that you can't get through anywhere else. There's an escrow holdback for those of you who haven't heard that term before. It's just a portion of their equity that's held in an escrow account with title.
The security instrument.
Yep. And if the property is successfully resold for the price that it was purchased at, the homeowner gets all of that returned to them, and they get the additional proceeds if it sells for more. So it's all the convenience of a cash offer, and they still get to play the open market. So the numbers worked for the seller. They're buying another property, and the agent's really happy because they're going to get a listing out of it. And
it's a buy and a sell, right? So they get two certain deals. They get all the commission.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
So what subscriber should we shout out?
Oh, yes. Alyssa Kaiser with JK Realty.
Alyssa, JK Realty. Awesome.
Good job, Alyssa.
Way to crush it, Alyssa.
Well, we love it. Hey, thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear from you, answer any questions you might have, and maybe even bring you on this podcast. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
Always appreciate you tuning in.
Yep.
Great.
See ya.